to handle the different emotions better here tomorrow?
Well, I sure hope so. I think that, that one had to sting a little bit. I don't think that you have that many in a NBA season that you say, oh, geez, last time we played Indiana, they got us, and you're still mad about it a couple months later. But that one stung a little bit, and hopefully our guys are going to go out there and play with that kind of attitude that to erase some of that sting.
There is a chance that the biggest cheers will come for a guy on the opposing team. How do you feel about that, and how do you feel about the time you were here with DeMar?
Well, let me answer the second part first. I love DeMar. Right, I had a great 5 years with him, and it was fun. Just like everybody around here says, it was fun to watch him grow. We had a tremendous amount of success, and I think it was neat to see him. Just things that kind of stages that I remember are things like becoming a good screen and roll player, right? Becoming such a good passer. Out of handling the double teams, those were stages he kept on making as he goes. And another thing that I always on the fond side of things is just watching him work out. He's got this pace that he works out at, right? And he does his shooting workouts too. And I don't think it's everybody's cup of tea. But there's times when I would sit there and watch one shot after another go right down the middle and watch his footwork and rocking back and forth. And it was artistry to me, just watching this guy at a super high level go through his routine and watching such perfection. So those are some of my good memories. What was the first question? How am I going to feel about everybody cheering for somebody on the other team? Yeah, I think it's okay. I think he deserves those cheers, Doug. There's no doubt about it. I think that at the end of the day, though, who the crowd cheers for, how loud they are or anything shouldn't affect our performance, right? I think we want to go in there and win the game. That's our. We want to play well. We want to improve. We want to get these new guys integrated and see what we can become. And let the rest of the stuff be the rest of the stuff.
I just was in here just saying, the game in San Antonio, he said it was just another game on the schedule. It wasn't a big deal. There's no highs, no lows. He said tomorrow night's game is just going to be another game. You've gotten into the plan over there. Why is that? Why is he the type of guy that doesn't? He obviously can get up for a game and put on a show, but he doesn't. He says there's no emotion.
Well, he's a very even-keeled guy, first of all, right? And I would also say that I would say this. I would say that he has done it and been to the highest level. He's been to the highest level of championship game and won it, and he's won the finals MVP. So I would imagine that once you kind of get to those things that these regular season games don't move your meter as much. I just don't think they do, and I don't think he has any personal agenda here. He didn't like say trade me to Toronto and now there's this big war. But he just was a guy that was moved to Toronto. He's trying to he's trying to have a great season with his team. He loves he always talks about winning. He's committed to winning, and he's trying to have a great season personally. Professionally and continue to move on. I just think that's probably part of it.
But on the flip side, you got a guy like DeMar DeRozan, who all he talked about is how much he loved the city that he had to be in. And coming back here is obviously, I would imagine, an emotional night for him and for the fans as well. It was emotional in San Antonio for different reasons, but
yeah. I think it'll be a little more joyous tomorrow than it was in San Antonio. Oh, you guys thought of that already? Sorry about that. I don't know. I guess I think he, like I said, he thinks he played well there, and he won a championship there, and his life has moved on, and he's kind of handling it a little differently. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that make him great. He's very skilled, and and a great competitor. He's a smart player. He can really score the basketball. There's a lot of things that make him great.
As a coach, how difficult or is it even important to get a read on Kawhi's highs and lows? Or do you have any idea at any given time if he's feeling up or down?
He doesn't, like I said, his meter doesn't move too much, right? There's not a time when I'm sitting there in the huddle looking at him and going, oh, geez, Kawhi's in trouble. I can't go to him, or geez, Kawhi's half asleep. I gotta wake him up. It's neither. Right? He's just, in the huddles, in the halftime, in the pregame, he is like 100% locked in. I've said this many times to you guys this year. He's always looking at me. He's always listening and kind of nodding his head. And I always say that's a great feeling as a coach. It really is, to have guys that are looking at you and going, it's not unlike me looking at you right now and you're nodding back at me. Like you get it, right? You get what I'm saying or whatever. It's just a communication thing that you would think maybe from a quiet guy like that you wouldn't see all the time. But once we're in there, we're in a pregame, halftime, pregame or halftime or postgame, when it's a team situation where we're meeting, talking about whatever it is to deal with the team, he's locked in and ready to go. And there is no panic, and there is no low-level emotions either.
We're from San Antonio. We've dealt with him for a long time.
Yep.
And obviously, like you said, he's an even-keeled guy.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that he was booed in San Antonio, to think that he would not have an emotional response to that,
yeah,
that's kind of too much for the average human.
Yeah, I agree. But I agree. I think that I don't really think it bothered him too much down there. I mean, did he play great down in San Antonio? He was okay, right? He was okay. We didn't play great. I mean, it wasn't Kawhi's problem down there. It was all of us, me, myself included, right? Yeah, maybe you would think it affected him, but it didn't seem to. To me, I talked to him a couple of days afterwards, and I said it was a kind of a rough couple of days, and he goes, that was kind of his response. I'm good. Let's go. Let's get the next one.
Going back to DeMar, can you have a sense of why he seemed to connect with the city and this fan base the way that he did? Because it's a different level kind of than a lot of other players.
Well, first of all, this city's awesome, and this fan base is awesome. It's when you're a Toronto Raptor that's a really good player, these people love you, right? And I don't know. I was thinking about it last night of why was the guy so upset? He's going to arguably the greatest franchise since 1999 in the NBA. And he was, and I was thinking, man, this place must really be something. And I think it is. I think there's some other reasons, I'm sure, that he has or whatever. But I was just thinking that it hadn't be all been like we traded him to, the Iowa Wolves in the D League or something, right? He's going to San Antonio, the Spurs. So anyway.
Did you see the Zion Williamson shooting in that?
I did not. No. We had late practice last night because of the break, and I did not get out of here till that game was pretty much over. But I did see the report, but I didn't see it yet. Sorry.
The Kawhi stoicism you talked about earlier, how he walked in and focused, does that carry over to his teammates, and do they learn from that or mimic it or try to see how that affects him so that can maybe affect them?
I don't think so, Doug. I think that they just kind of he is who he is, and I don't think it bothers them either way. I don't think anybody's trying to say, man, geez, I wish I could be that calm right now, or anything like that, or we should all be calm,
I could be more like him.
I don't think so. Only thing, I think it's just his individual personality, and I don't think it bothers anybody, or is a help to anybody. This isn't a help or a hindrance either way. There's many times when Kawhi is, when the huddle's a little erratic, that he's a guy that's saying, hey, let's everybody calm down a little bit. They'll listen to that when there's some frenetic stuff going on in the game.
Mick, you got here about kind of halfway through DeMar's time here, and you saw it, how he talked about how he grew every year. How much did he grow as a like off the court, kind of as a person, and from the time you met him to the time you left?
Well,
You guys are already there.
yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure about all that. It's hard to know what he was doing off the court before I got here and how he was, but he certainly matured a lot. It seemed like, I just know that this is a really good dude. I didn't know him any other way, right? I didn't know him any other way as he was easy to coach. He was easy to talk to. And he was a great performer. I just think that I can remember. I'm not really answering your question, but because I don't really know what he was like before I got here. I just can remember telling many people over the last 5 years, like, he's the best dude ever, right? People that ask you, what's he like to coach? He's the best dude ever, right?
Just the last couple questions. Do you see any similarities between the two? Things that we wouldn't see maybe?
Well, I think positionally they do a lot of the same thing. They're both high-level NBA scorers, right? They both kind of play the wing. They both kind of play a little bit methodically with the ball. I see a lot of similarities. They both can post a little bit. As far as plays, personality. Yeah, DeMar's not the most talkative guy either, right? Or he's a little bit more emotional. He'll swing his fists around a little bit more, and he'll get on the refs a little bit more. Things like that. He'll be a little bit more reactionary to things than Kawhi.